Hey, everybody out there, welcome to our second race of the season here at the Kentucky 150. It's been a couple weeks, had a Daytona 500 Sunday yesterday, had off for the Super Bowl, had a couple weeks there, so we're here tonight for the Kentucky 150. For those of you that forgot, RC Enerson won the race in Daytona. We are qualifying now. Had a little bit of issue getting the stream going, but I am joined tonight by Nick Massey as always, and Jacob Adams, one of the Cup drivers on Wednesday night. What are you guys looking forward to seeing tonight, and how was y'all's off time?
Looking forward to seeing some close racing here. Kentucky's always a good place on the sim. I think tire saving is going to be a big deal tonight.
That was a good couple weeks off. Felt longer than it actually was. Had to look back on who won Daytona. It feels like it's been forever, but glad to be back here at Kentucky. This is a track, it's kind of faded away and on the NASCAR circuits here, so it's going to be interesting to see these Xfinity cars come back here and who still remembers how to run this place because iRacing's kind of faded out of official racing here on iRacing. So so far, it looks like Fody, Tate Lytle, RC have been fastest in qualifying and fast in practice as well. So I think those three right there would probably be the guys to watch all night.
Yeah, and tonight's race, like I said, is the Kentucky 150, so we'll have 150 miles from the green flag to the checker flag. Couple sponsor shout outs here: Mrs. Goody's Goodies, C2 Freight, and Powerhouse Recycling. Kind of get those out of the way, talk about those through the night. As always, we'll have our C2 Freight update with Jeff Green as we get later in the race. Jeff Green right now looks like he is in the, I don't know, about mid-pack somewhere, I guess. Cars are still wrapping up. Looks like Chad Thornquist, Nick, jumped up there real late.
The track's a nice, cool 79 degrees here, and I expect that to kind of cool off as this, transitions later into the night. But is there any word on how these cars are handling, Chris? Anybody give you any feedback on, the tight, the loose? Have any
I,
idea what to expect?
I haven't talked to anybody tonight, but Jeff Green, 15th is where he'll take off tonight. Like I said, Fody did end up with the pole. Chad Thornquist jumped up there in front of Tate, RC, Jesse, Ethan Burrell, Vincent Isabella, Gerald Campbell, David Tooker, and Michael Hosack are the top 10. Josh Adams is 18th. Matthew Weeks is 19th. Chad is going to roll off 20th tonight. We've seen him be really good in this series, especially uh, later in the runs. He's figured out how to run these cars, so I look for him to come back up through here from 20th. Yeah, we got some kind of heat race here. I have no clue what it is. So we'll we'll check out these heat races and see what happens. I think there was more cars tonight. Some people missed the race. I think everybody made it. It's just they have to run these. I'm not sure how this is working out right now.
Well, guys, I mean, while we let this heat race roll off here, just for the sake of it, who do you guys have for picks tonight?
I probably Fody if I had to guess. I would take Fody. That's an
I'm
easy
not
pick though.
I'm not really going to make it a pick, but I'm looking at my brother Josh Adams. He's really good at the tire saving game here, but it's going to be exciting to see if he can come up through the field. We've just finished our 14-hour drive home from Daytona, so see if he falls asleep during the race.
Got Jake there sticking at home. Doesn't want to create a rift with Josh. Is what it sounds like. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, it sounds like you had to play that one a little safe there. I don't know, but I think if I were to make a pick, I don't know. Tate was fast in practice, fast in Q. I think it's hard to bet against RC too. I think RC goes back to back tonight.
I don't know. Would it even feel like back to back with all that downtime between races?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of a couple weeks there in between.
When you're a NASCAR driver, Chris, it doesn't matter how long you're off. If you win 2 races in a row, you win 2 races in a row. It doesn't matter 5 weeks in between. Right away, doesn't matter. He just wants to win.
Well, I don't think anybody doesn't want to win who's out there. But I don't know, man. We've seen Fody at some of these places really be strong, especially in this car. You know, I think it's hard to bet against Fody.
There's a guy I've got my eye on that always seems to show up. 37, Ethan Burrell. That'll be my pick.
Oh, you're switching? What happened?
What? I said I
Did
was.
you get some information from Josh about how bad he's struggling?
Well, I did get a piece of information from Josh. He said he hasn't raced the B car here in a while, so he kind of forgot how to run it here, and he's never been very good at it in this car. So we'll see.
Yeah, Jake's got that insider info over there.
Yeah, it was enough to make him change his mind, huh?
I mean, you got fireworks after the heat races down here. Look at that.
Just to get us up to speed here, though, we will be broadcasting all week here for Elite. You'll have Nick and I tonight. You'll have your Cup guys in there for Wednesday night. Sunday, I believe Sunday we have a double broadcast. If I read that right, you'll have the truck race with Gerald Campbell, and you'll have the F1 race a week from yesterday with Nick and myself.
And Dave, can't forget Dave.
Yeah, and Dave. We'll have Dave. You know, we typically have Ryan. We love Ryan, but we ditched him for Sunday nights. But talk about some downtime. You know, we're only running one F1 race basically a month, Nick. How much you remember from Road America?
I remember. I don't even know. I forget who won that race. I got to look at the entries for that. It's been like a month, like you said. It's been a long time.
I think Jake will be running that F1 race next Sunday, won't you, Jake? Aren't you in that series?
I am in that series, but I am not sure if I will be available to run that.
I think you might want to clear your calendar so, you know, you can get out there and maybe try to go win that thing. Because if I do remember right, there was a guy that basically dominated that race.
Yeah, I think it was team cars, if I recall.
Where are we racing at Sunday night?
That's a great. I think it's Watkins Glen, right?
Let me check real quick.
I believe that we'll be racing Watkins Glen.
It is at Watkins Glen. That is confirmed.
Yeah, you can never go wrong with Watkins Glen. It's one of the better road courses on the sim.
But anyway, now that that's over, we'll turn our attention back over here to Kentucky. We got Fody and Thornquist. I mean, maybe a little bit of a surprise there. We don't see a whole lot of Chad Thornquist up here, but I think that's going to change this season. Tate's in third. RC, Jesse. Oh, we waved it off here.
Yeah, I think we're having some issues getting the starting order set.
Back to Chad Thornquist for a second. He's a guy that I've noticed on the Cup side. He's really good at qualifying. So it'll be interesting to see if he's qualified second here, if he can hold his track position.
Are you saying he's way better at qualifying than he is at racing?
I'm not saying that, but we'll keep an eye on him here at the start.
I think if I'm reading between the lines, Jake just threw him under the bus a little bit there.
If memory serves me correctly, I think he was in contention for that Truck Series championship last season. Along with Bronson Stafford, Shane Therian, and Scott Crump, I believe, were the contenders there. Maybe Rexing as well. But I'm excited to get this one going. I haven't ran this track in a long time, especially on this newer surface. So I'm curious to see which lane is gonna be preferred and who's gonna be able to figure it out.
One thing I will point out, Andrew Rucker, we know he has speed. He's going to start 36th. It'll be interesting to watch these guys come through the field like him, and Thomas Sherman is back there in 29th. We talked about Chad being 20th. Seeing if these guys can come through the field, if they can come through clean. That's obviously going to be very important at a track like this, is to not just get to the top 10, but to make sure you got a clean car when you get there. But here we go. We are going to go this time. Pace car is off, and Fody's gone. Great start for Fody. And that's about it. He's out there in his own little island. Fody has got 5 car lengths on Thornquist. Side-by-side battle for third with RC and Tate. Tate's rolling that bottom side. RC's trying to roll that top side.
Yeah, RC had him cleared on the backstretch and decided to give Tate the bottom in 3 and 4.
Yeah, it looks like it's cycled out now. Looks like everybody's trying to get single filed, get to the bottom. Jake talked about it there in the pre-race broadcast. Saving tires. Best way to save tires is to run right around the bottom.
Yeah, I know from my previous experience here, you want to be kind of right around the yellow line and in 1 and 2. You can kind of sort of move up a little bit in 3 and 4, but we'll see how that progresses as we go. So we got a battle for second here. RC's going to get Chad.
Yeah, it looked like he did what you talked about. He ran up high in the middle of the track in 3 and 4, got a good run off the corner, and made the pass on the front stretch. Curious to see if he tries that down here, if that was just him making a pass, knowing that would work.
It looks like he's going to run, like I talked about, a couple lanes up in 3, and he looks to be gaining a little bit of time here.
It looks like Tate saw what he did last lap, trying to follow suit here.
Now, that should be harder on the tires in the longer run, correct? Or is that, not going to wear any worse?
To me, it depends when he gets back in the gas. If he waits on it and lets his nose get back set straight, and gets out of the corner straight, he should be fine up there. He's making a good run around the top here.
And like Nick said, Tate's doing the same thing. He's jumped up to the top. He's going to go around Chad.
And RC's closed the gap on Fody considerably in the last lap since he cleared for second. I mean, Fody was out there by 5-6 car lengths, and RC's right there with him now.
It'll be interesting to see if Tyler in the 40 is gonna see what RC's doing in his mirror and move up and try and block him a little bit.
Doesn't look like it, but he did back off pretty early. RC didn't get as good of a run off of 4 that time. RC closes right up to the back bumper. Even down in 1 and 2 there, it looks like RC's up a little bit.
And looks like the back end of the 40 car is skating around over there. I don't think these cars are very stable on throttle.
They do have 3 sets of tires laying in the pits tonight. So 100 laps, 3 sets. Shouldn't be any issues with tires unless there's a bunch of yellows. Tate's trying to make this a 3-car race. He's kind of driven right up to the back of RC here.
And RC sailed it down in there on the high side. Just not able to get quite as good as run as he was before.
I almost wonder if a little bit of that is Fody knows what he's going to do. So Fody's able to not let him get that big run on the front stretch.
This is kind of where you got to be careful if you're RC too. You know, you can run that high side, but now you got to play a little bit of defense because you got Tate right on your bumper. So if you run high in 3 and 4, Tate might stick his nose down there, and you can't get that good arc that you're looking for.
And one thing that just happened down there is Fody went to the top too and ran the same line that RC's been running.
So RC's going to look here. He's going to back out of it, think better of it.
Great 3-car battle here at the front.
One guy, while we continue to watch this battle here, Chris, you mentioned him pre-race, Andrew Rucker. He's up 7 spots from that 36th starting spot you mentioned.
Yeah, what he's looking for there, I got to think, and you guys would probably agree, is to maybe get up to around 25th, catch a yellow. I mean, that's what I would think, right? You want to pass, 10 or 15, get a yellow, box everybody back up.
Yeah, in my experience, when I don't qualify too well, and I'm not one of the better qualifiers on the sim, so I want to try and get 5-6 guys right away and hope we box back up, like you said. The RC sailed it down into 3 on the top that time. It's going to get a good run off of 4 here.
How high do you think that they could run down there in 3 and 4? Right now, we're seeing him just a couple lanes off. Do you think we could get up towards the wall?
I think he can go higher, yeah. So he's going to look off a 2. So might put his bumper to him.
Wow, I think
No,
Fody
Fody
just gave it up. Yeah.
I think he lifted early and might try to cross him over here.
While that's going on, Tate's like, you guys go ahead and run your tires off. I'll sit back here and watch it.
That was a great piece of driving by both of those guys.
Tate's having a look on the RC. RC shuts the door on him.
And we're right back to where we were.
Good run again. He's really getting off turn 2. He's struggling a little bit getting off turn 4, it looks like, but he's killing everybody off turn 2 there.
I think that might cost him second place. That might cost RC second place by not getting clear up in front of Fody there.
I just don't know that second lane has quite the grip that it has in turn 3, so it'll be interesting to see if Tate can work on that and see if he can't get RC here.
They're back to where they were now. Same running order, first, second, third.
Got a battle back here for 6th place. Ethan Burrell working over Vincent Isabella in that 12 car.
Almost 3 wide there. 70 machines backing up.
Yeah, I think the 70 almost hit the wall off of 4, or he did hit the wall off of 4. Cost him 2 spots.
Ethan's one of those guys too that always finds himself around at the end.
He's gonna look to pick up the spot here on the 12. He's got a pretty good run off of 4. See if he can't clear him down here in 1.
Looks like he's gonna beat him down into the corner. 12's just gonna give it up.
Got another battle back here for 10th. The 31, Jared Campbell, the 90, Scott Crump. And I believe these two got into it a couple races ago at, is that the Cup Series at Daytona, Chris, or?
Man, I'm not sure. We had so many races going on there for a little while and then had that break. But I do know this about these two. Neither one of them want to let anybody go. So I think we'll see them race really hard and possibly wreck. As you can see, Scott was 98% clear there, and Terrell was like, you got to get that other 2%. I'm not lifting for you.
Yeah, we see those guys up there in the top 3. They're all kind of playing nice with each other and letting people go, and they know they have a run. But not back here.
Well, Scott had to lift a little bit out of 4.
Looks like Gerald wants to go back after him. He thinks better of it.
Now Tooker is the guy that's running right in front of him. If Scott gets position on Tooker, or even before he gets position, like Tooker will let him go. Tooker is very patient. He looks to get to the end of these runs. Tooker might be the best guy at saving tires and making sure that there's something left for later. So I would not be surprised to see Tooker give up that spot.
Yeah, I've not raced with many of these guys in the B car. I'm used to a lot of them in the A car and the full throttle stuff we had last season. So I don't really know tendencies on saving tires and all that a whole lot. But looks like he's looking to be around at the end, like you said, Chris.
Yep, a lot of those guys like Tooker and Burrell, they don't show their hand until they have to.
The person that reminds me of in the real world, Matt Kenseth. You never knew he was around until it was time to get that trophy, and then he's there in the top 5. Won a championship doing that.
That's very, very true. We'll see him, in the broadcast booth in the Cup Series for, I think, Fontana, just the one race.
I believe that's all he signed on for so far. See how he does.
I'll tell you another guy who's kind of working his way through quietly so far has been 15 at Chad Frankenfield. Started 20th, trying to work over the 14 to Hunter Smith here for 13th spot.
And that's a guy we all know for sure. He catches 2 guys, he's taking them 3 wide. He doesn't care. He's looking to get as many positions as he can. He doesn't care if it's 3, 4 wide, 5 wide. Heck, this track's big enough, he might try 7.
Yeah, Chad will send it. We do know that.
And he's looking pretty good right now. 13th place, this kicking the tires Toyota.
And one thing I will say about Chad is just in the time that Nick and I have been doing this, Chad, when we first started doing this, he wasn't somebody we seen at the very front. Now, I'm not saying he ran bad, but he ran 5th to 10th. But the last few races at mile and a half, we saw Chad run really, really well towards the end of last season, and obviously this season's just starting. But I believe it was Kansas where Chad just absolutely destroyed everybody and then lost it because of a late restart. So he's a guy that I think will end up being up here in the battle for this thing later.
A little bit of a traffic jam here with the 31 and Gerald Campbell. We were looking at it. Jeff Green.
Yeah,
David Westergreen, too.
They've driven away from Tate Lytle up there. Tate Lytle's in 3rd, and he has fallen off of those guys.
So we've got Jeff Green making a move for 10th here on Gerald. He's going to get it.
Yeah, I think Jeff Green and David Westergreen in the 99 both just went by Gerald, so maybe Gerald's struggling a little bit now. Maybe went too hard early.
I think Chad's going to be trying to go around him here soon.
Chad gets a good run off turn 4. It looks like he's going to look to make a move down here in 1.
Almost a little contact right there. I don't know if Gerald was trying to block or...
It looked like Gerald was running a little defensive there and might have paid for a little bit. Kind of didn't get off turn 2 very well. He's going to let Chad under him in 3.
Chad doesn't quite get to the bottom, though.
Good battle, though, we've got going on with these 2 guys here. Gerald's a little loose off 4. See if that's another opportunity for Chad.
We've got a couple good battles. You see in the back of the picture here, Josh Adams trying to work over Hunter Smith. We just talked about Hunter Smith. Running up there in 12th or 13th, and he's falling back, too.
Josh is another guy who started back there in mid-pack trying to work his way forward.
Yeah, one thing about Josh, I can tell you, I've raced the guy for my whole life. He's gonna claw his way up there. He's not looking to get 5, 6, 7 guys right at the start. He's gonna sit back there and mind his own business, and then once they start coming back to him, that's when he's gonna pass them.
Chad was finally able to clear Gerald down there, turn 1 and 2.
And somebody asked about the pit window earlier. It looks like about 55 laps on fuel, so if this thing were to run green, it would be a one-stop race if these guys ran it out.
Do you think you want to go that far on tires?
I think, based on what I'm seeing here, I would not pit before lap 45. Make sure you got the fuel to make it to the end. I would probably run around long this run. shorten up the next run.
You mentioned I think three sets of tires in the pits. I think you risk short pitting and you get a caution, and then you run a few laps before the caution. You're kind of wasting a set of tires. So
I think
I would
Gerald is
run
really
long.
struggling. Gerald's given up a lot of spots. He's going to
Oh, we've got a little contact with the 31 and 95.
Yeah, Gerald is really, really struggling.
See, I think if you're one of these guys, talking about Gerald maybe struggling a little bit or running, 15th to 20th, one of these guys we're looking at here, I think these are the guys who might have to consider short pitting, try something different than the top guys who, are probably going to run long.
I do think short pitting would be one thing, but in a race like this,
Gerald's doing it. Here comes 31 to pit road.
yeah. But if it runs green, this is over. But I do think he's been in the wall too. Look at the right side of that car.
Nah, Gerald just heard me, dude.
Yeah, speaking of the wall, he's got a little bit of right side damage. We'll see if he stays and gets that fixed here.
But now, see, this is the box that Gerald has put himself in. He needs a yellow, but he needs a yellow when he needs it. If a yellow comes out before everybody else pits, he's screwed. If a yellow comes out too late, he's still screwed. Like, he needs a yellow right between lap 50 and 65. If it comes out after that, he's going to be on pit road again. If it comes out before that, everybody's not going to have pitted yet.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I think the fall-offs, we're looking at about 2 seconds of fall-off right now. I think it's a pretty decent amount. I think when you get that much fall-off, I think that's when the short pitting or, pitting one more time strategy tends to work.
I just don't think it'll work if it stays green. I'd bet the farm that he doesn't finish very well if it stays green.
I'm pulling for you, Gerald. Chris is throwing you under the bus, but I'm pulling for you.
Hey, I didn't say I wasn't pulling for the guy. He's exciting. I want to see him get back up in there and be racing these guys. But I'm saying the strategy call. You're really. If he gets a yellow when he needs it, he needs to go buy a lottery ticket as soon as this thing's over.
I like the call. You're struggling. You fell out of the top 10. Maybe a little contact with the wall. I think it's a good call.
I think what he's got to do now, he's just got to log laps and don't do anything that he's not comfortable doing, and just hope that caution comes out and see if he can't get on the right side of it.
We're seeing Scott Crump here. We talked about the 70 almost getting into the wall. I think he's another car that's maybe it looks like maybe they're getting really tight in the center of the corner.
Yeah, that's one thing about 3 and 4 especially. It's kind of deceiving. If you kind of think of the Nashville Super Speedway comes to mind. If you recall the exit of turn 4, kind of will reach out and grab you if you get back in too soon. And it looks like you got a lot of room off turn 4 here at Kentucky, but it'll reach out and grab you if you get back in the gas too soon.
We ride on board here with Scott Crump. Couple positions out in front of him. He's going to try to go get him. I think that's 5th place out there.
Yeah, but we got looks like the 32, 44. They're coming to pit road.
Yeah, I just don't know if I trust the strategy. A lot of guys are going to do it though, so a lot of guys are going to be in the same boat.
The same boot. Those are the guys we were talking about, that have the opportunity to pull a strategy like this, maybe pit one more time. Guys who are, running mid-pack or farther back.
Yeah, if I'm struggling, I always want to try and do something a little different. If you're struggling, you're going backwards, and you do the same thing as the leaders, well, your boat's not going to go forward. You're going to sink.
Yeah, but, if you're struggling, in a season-long championship like this, if you're running 10th, like Gerald pitted from about 12th or 13th. Yeah, he'd given up a lot of spots. He would probably have given up, maybe back towards the 20th spot by the time the regular pit cycle opened. 20th, though, pitting from 20th, and not as long as you don't put any more damage on the car, you'll still give yourself a chance to race for a top 15. With this strategy, if there's no yellow, you're not going to give yourself a chance to race for a top 20. Like, sometimes it's better to just stick with what you got instead of trying to just, put yourself in a spot where you need something to happen.
And one thing we kind of missed too in the midst of all this is Ethan Burrell made the pass on Tate for third, and Tate's fallen back almost 2.5 seconds behind our leader, Tyler Fody.
We were watching the battle with Scott Crump a minute ago. He did just get that top 5 spot, so Scott's coming forward, and he's putting down some pretty good lap times.
Yeah, but Fody and RC are still running right there together. We'll see if Ethan can catch them. These guys, I don't think are going to short pit. You're going to see these guys run at least another 15 laps or so.
Yeah, these guys, they're putting a pretty good gap on the field, so they're showing they can go out there and run away. So they're going to try and stretch this out as long as they can, get as big a lead as they can, and then they'll pit. So the short pitting won't. They're not going to get back to them if they have this big of a lead on the rest of the field.
And it's going to start getting pretty crazy here too, because now you got a lot of guys coming down pit road, coming out on fresher tires, and Kentucky being, as narrow as it is, you're going to get massive closing rates, and that's where you get accidents.
Not sure what happened to Michael Goodman on his pit stop, but he has found himself 3 laps down.
Yeah, I just seen him coming off on the apron. I believe he probably got some kind of pit penalty, speeding on exit, or it looked like he had to make a second run at pit road though. Looking here at Tyler Fody, RC coming through traffic right behind him. We talked about Goodman. He is right behind the top 2 there, and he's on a little fresher tires, so he should have a little more pace.
Yeah, what he wants to do, he wants to get in front of that 40 as fast as he can, get a lap back right there, and then he wants a caution. After these guys pit, he wants to run it out, and then he wants a caution when he can get another lap back from him.
And
Gerald Campbell is running higher than I've seen anybody run, and just passing him when he gets to him. I understand he's on fresh tires, but he is not being cautious by any means, trying to make those tires last.
He just, speaking of Gerald, he hit the wall going into turn 1 on his apex.
Ah, come on, Gerald. Pulling for you.
One car that's still coming through the field that we talked about a little bit earlier, Andrew Rucker, is getting ready to crack the top 15. He has got a great pace right now.
We were talking about the 44 missing his box. I went down there and talked to the crew chief. Said Michael's having some radio issues. Didn't hear the countdown coming to the box. Just drove right by it, so some radio issues for that 44 machine.
Hopefully they get it fixed for next time, because as early as he could, he will have to pit a second time. There is a wad of cars right now around Chad Frankenfield, David Tooker. They're 3 wide coming off the 4.
Oh.
That was really, really tight. This is what you talked about, Nick. Fresh tires, old tires, people struggling on old tires. Remember when Jake was talking all that smack about Chad Thornquist? There he is, falling back to the field. Making Jake look pretty smart right now.
I mean, we were talking 10 laps ago. Tate was 2.5 behind the leader. RC and Fody just keep pulling away. Tate's now back to almost 4.5, so about 2 seconds in 10 laps.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Chad Frankenfield's taking a spot from Thornquist right there. Kind of surprised that Tooker hasn't moved forward. Tooker's moved backwards a little bit, I believe.
We've got a 3 wide coming off turn 4 there, right around where Tooker's at.
Yeah, I thought we'd see a little bit more out of him at this point in the race. Just not seeing it right now.
Somebody I thought we'd see a little bit more out of. We were talking about him at the start. The 95, he's only gained 3 spots since the start of this race. Started 17th, he's running 14th, is working over Jeff Green right now.
You talking about Josh Adams?
That would be the one, yeah.
Yeah, he's the 56 over here. He's not the 95.
That's you got me there.
Got a lot of traffic right there.
His number in the sim is 95. It threw me off. Not used to Josh running with the Yodas.
Yeah, I know. You might want to leave him too, because it's not, like you said, not got a lot of pace right now.
He's trying to work over the 38 at Jeff Green, but neither of them gained any ground.
Yeah, I think Rucker is stronger than all of them, but I mean, he's kind of boxed in, being very patient right now.
Yeah, you got 4 or 5 cars right there for position, and then you got fresh tires coming behind them.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh man, this is might get ugly.
Chad Thornquist just bailed onto pit road, so he was done with that fight up there.
This looks like, are we at Daytona or are we at Kentucky?
Yeah, this is gonna get ugly here. You got 3 wide, you got fresher tires coming around the top.
Oh yeah, who is that? They're big balling it.
It looks like the 96, Mark Rabilis, put it right on the wall. He was trying to pass all of them in one corner. Here he comes again.
You might get them all in one corner.
Look at that.
Shows you how much of a deal pressure tires are. This is nuts. Look at all these cars for position.
The fact that they didn't wreck is incredible. I mean, they were 2 and 3 wide, stacked up.
I think you're right, Jake.
Nick, I know you're into the cryptocurrency and all that kind of stuff. I bet you wish that built as quick as Mark is going through this field here.
Yeah, I wish it was going up that quick.
Build up your Bitcoin. Might have to put in a word with Mark, see if he can't get that going for you somehow.
Looks like Rucker is making that pass on Josh right now.
It looks like you're right, Jake. I think Rucker was the best car out of that bunch.
Oh, they might go 4.
Oh, he's gonna be right on.
Oh, we're gonna be 3.
See, we got people on fresh tires, we got people on old tires, and some of the people on old tires are really, really struggling. This is insane. That guy's got to have a flat tire as slow as he's running through the corner. I think he needs to be getting on pit road, whoever that is.
I'm kind of wondering if something's broke or something on that 2 car. Maybe make some contact with the wall, because he's falling back a lot. He's now 7.5 seconds behind. We were just talking 4.5, so that's another 3 seconds in 5 laps. I wonder if oh, here comes RC down pit road.
Right at lap 50. Splitting it right in half. Man, if he could see the racing going on back here behind him, I don't know if he would have pitted yet.
And now with RC pitting, if I'm Tyler, I want to pit now. I don't want to stay out here on my old tires and let RC get a couple of seconds advantage on me. So those tires are going to equal out, and we're going to have a lead change if he stays out here much longer.
He's going to stay out another time at least.
Yeah, I think I like Fody's strategy here. Man, just looking at this, if he's got anybody in his ear, they're telling him the kind of racing that's going on, the kind of how close they've been to a yellow. I would bet on a yellow coming.
Another thing here, if we don't get a yellow, we just saw RC go 50 laps. What again is the fuel window?
About 55.
So I guess RC knows that. He knows he can go to the end on just that stop.
And one thing here about Fody too, if he runs it to the end and runs 5 more laps, it's not going to be some big punishment for Fody. He might blend back in the race in 3rd, have a little bit fresher tire. Like, it's not like he's going to run, 5th or 10th. I just think
he will more than likely be 2nd or 3rd, like you said. But we've seen how hard it has been to pass for that lead, and don't know if I wanna be in that position where I've got to go and pass somebody as stout as RC is.
How about this? He's shown as a 7 car, but he's actually the 48. there. Joseph Cossey started 27th up to 10th, and right in front of him, Thomas Sherman started 29th up to 9th. And Rucker as well, 36th to 7th. I mean, a lot of big movers up here. I know we've had pit stops going on, but I mean, a lot of people moving pretty quickly through the field.
Yeah, and one thing that's going to happen is those guys that short pitted on that 25 or 30, they might jump these guys, but they're going to be pitting again here in 20 laps. This is what I'm talking about. Like this, when everybody that's running at the front right now, when these guys make their pit stops, there's going to be about a 15, 20 lap window where you are going to need a caution if you're one of those guys that short pitted, like Gerald Campbell. And if you don't get it, your strategies, your race is killed. You're going to be trying to climb out of the hole the rest of it.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the 31 of Jared Campbell, you see RC about to go around him right here already. Shortly after pitting.
The 1, the 56, the 19, the 7, 64, all with the 1 missed pit road, slid in. He might have been speeding. I don't know if that's going to be a penalty or not on the 1.
Yeah, this pit road is going to be a busy place here the next 2 laps. Everybody going as far as they can on fuel.
It would be very interesting to see how this plays out and who gets what penalty. Fode's still running.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised at that. I mean, maybe he just wants to come out here with the freshest tires and run down RC, be on the offensive rather than the defensive.
I'm going to tell you this, at pit entry, we nearly had an accident. Scott Crump almost ran over somebody who was pitting. I mean, it was almost a wreck.
I wasn't sure if I saw it wrong. I thought I saw somebody out of the corner of my eye fly through the grass. I don't know if I...
Here comes Fode.
All he can to the line there.
And this is about 6 laps later than RC. So if you're one of these drivers, guys, if you're one of either Fode or RC, who would you rather be? Would you rather be on the offense coming out of the pits like Fode, or would you rather know you're probably going to have to hold him off being RC?
If from what I know about both of these guys, I know RC, he made his pit stop, and he knows he's going to come out and be faster than Tyler. He's going to make the pass. He's saving his tires the entire time he was out there. So we'll see if that's going to be enough for him to hold off Tyler. Tyler's going to have to use his tires to catch RC, so it'll be interesting when they get back together.
I think he's probably going to be about half a lap behind him, but I would rather be where Fode is.
I don't know. We'll see. Those tires are going to make up for it. I think he gave up a lot of time there. See if he waited too long.
Let's see. We've got the 50 of RC at the line now. And the 40 of Tyler Fode is coming off turn 4. He's at the line now, so he gave up a lot of time on that sequence. We'll see if he can't get it all back here.
Yeah, it looks like he's about 12 seconds behind. So we'll see. Once they get in some clean track, we'll start looking at some lap times here, see if Fode's going to be able to make all that up.
Yeah, I think 12 seconds. 8 laps, 9 laps, fresher tires, definitely doable. 31-32 first lap out of the pits there.
See the 51 of Harrison Talon still leading. I don't know if he pitted early. I thought the fuel window was only about 55 laps. I thought everybody stretched as far. There he comes. I was going to say, I thought everybody stretched as far as they could, but apparently he went longer than... Oh, he got it slowed down.
So we've got RC with a 31.63 right there. That's his 10th lap out, compared to Chris, what you said, a 31.32 on the 40. So
yeah,
that's
31.34 this time.
About 3/10. We'll see how close that gap stays. If it's gonna be around 3/10 a lap, or if it's gonna start to level off.
And one thing I will say, as Fode is running these 31.3s, he is in traffic. He's been making passes. He passed Gerald Campbell this lap. And back to the Gerald Campbell story there, he is needing a caution between now and about lap 70, 75. Or his race will will be over.
Yeah, it worked out for him to get up the running order there, and but he's gonna start falling like a rock. Speaking of the 31, so we just had the 40 go around him.
Yeah, I think ideally Gerald wants a caution right now after everybody's made their pit stops. Everybody's probably gonna have to pit again. Everybody probably comes down again if you get a yellow at this point.
Yeah, if you get a yellow and you have like we'll use the 40 as an example. He's only been out for 3 laps. He's gonna come down and get tires, and no matter what, there's always the chance it goes green to the end. You don't want to be on a disadvantage like that.
Yeah, he is still beating them by 3/10 a lap. I think he's going to need some laps more than 3/10 of a second, maybe, but we'll see. Fody's very smart. He's probably not going to use everything he's got to get there. He knows that if he just takes care of it, he'll keep closing the gap.
And looking at the 02 with Chad Thornquist, made his stop lap 47, so a little bit earlier than even RC Enerson. So he's probably got the oldest tires out of the top 5 right now.
Did you say 47 or 37?
47.
Yeah, that should get him to the end. We'll see how that works out for him.
Let's see, listening into some of the drivers here, we just had a little bit of a contact with the 2 at Tate Lytle and the 08 of Mark Keeler. Tate felt like he should have been higher coming off the corner. Ran into the back of him.
As we're looking here at Tate, Chad Thornquist did just get passed by Tyler Fody, so now Fody is up 2 seconds. Basically got 35 laps here, 9.8 seconds. What do you guys think? Can he do it?
I don't know. I still I'm putting
it's yes or no. It's I don't know. Can he get there?
I think he waited too long.
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, I think he waited too long. He's gonna need more than 3/10 a lap, and we're gonna see these tires start to equalize gradually over the run here.
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say Tyler Fody is gonna get there. He picked up 0.8 of a second that lap. You talked about 3/10, and we talked about him needing more. He went and got him 0.8 that lap. Look at the gap just continuously come down.
I don't know. Let's see what it is this time.
He's got a really clear track, speaking of Fody, out in front of him, so he can just be clicking off lap time right here. He doesn't have to worry about any traffic.
Yeah, it was a little more than half a second this last time by, so Fody's definitely closing.
What about Burrell? What lap was Burrell's pit stop? He's only 2 seconds behind Fody. Didn't he run for a little further?
Ethan's first fast lap out of pit road was lap 58. So it looks like we've got 10 laps on Ethan.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now. I'm gonna say they both catch him.
If we're looking at both of them, we've got a 31.92 on the 37 of Ethan Burrell. If we compare that to what the leader ran last time, we've got a 32.5, so almost 0.6 for Ethan right there.
Yeah, Ethan was only 1,000 slower than Fody that last lap, so.
I think Tyler and Ethan both catch him.
We're speaking of Ethan here. It seems like him and Chad Thornquist are having a dispute in the race chat.
What happened to Thornquist?
We have Thornquist. He's no longer with us.
Oh yeah, we missed something there.
I don't know if we get a replay on what happened.
Yeah, we were talking about his strategy that he played, pitting a little sooner.
So we were caught up in lap times, and I just started hearing the 37 and the 02. Didn't seem like they were very happy with each other at all.
It looks like Thornquist just pulled over. Like, I mean, we saw, I don't know, it looked like he just came off a 2. And, I don't know.
See the 37 coming up behind him right here. better tires.
Looks clean. I don't see anything for anybody to be frustrated.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with the O2 then.
I do know
Interesting.
this. The gap is down to 6.4 seconds from RC to Fody.
What were we talking about the gap being when they came out of pit road? It's about 12 seconds or so?
Yeah, it was between 12 and
Jeez.
13.
Cut it about in half.
I still don't think he gets there.
It looks like Tyler gained less than a tenth that lap, so are we seeing the tires and the lap times start to equal out for those two?
I don't think so. I think you'll see Tyler take another bite out of it right here in a second. And Ethan, too, is now under 8 seconds.
I think eventually we're going to reach a point where they equal out, and Fody won't be taking huge chunks out of this lead anymore. You know, the tire's going to slowly fade. I don't know. Fody's proved me wrong before, though.
Yeah, it's down to 5.7. He picked up another 3/10.
I'm not doubting that he can do it at all, but if I know anything about RC, he's digging into his real world experience here. He's going to be minding this gap, and we may not be seeing him go as fast as he knows he can go right now.
Some of these guys that have stayed that pitted really early are pitting again. I think we missed it, but I think Gerald Campbell has came back down pit road. So
Yep.
His strategy call did not work. He did not get that yellow, so I would not advise him to buy that lottery ticket.
And he came down about 5 laps ago.
We haven't talked about him for a while. Andrew Rucker without a yellow is up to P7. Chad Frankenfield is up to 5th. If there's a yellow, I think that there's guys up in there that can run with these front 2 or 3. I mean, it just goes to show you how important qualifying is. You know, when you start the race like this and you don't have a yellow, I mean, you can't win from 36 without a yellow in 100 laps. You just can't do it.
And speaking of the 64 of Andrew Rucker, he's matching lap times with the leader right now. Just a little bit off of what the 40's doing.
I think Ethan Burrell is the fastest of the front 3 right now.
Yeah, we have seen Ethan take a significant chunk of time out of the lead that the second place car Tyler Fody has on him. It's just under 2 seconds now.
And the best thing that RC could see is if Ethan can catch Fody. If they battle a little bit, that's going to hurt him as the gap is under 5 seconds.
It's coming down quick now. I just don't see it getting all the way down there. It's starting to, the gap is, he's not gaining as much as he has been. We've got 22 laps to go this time.
I still think he's going to I think they both get there.
He only gained less than 2/10 that last lap. I don't know. It's going to be a tall order, I think, for the Tyler Fody to get there.
And it's the reason we're just talking about these 3 is because Scott Crump is 10 seconds back in 4th, and 5th place is 12-1. Chad Frankenfield, who started 20th again. I mean, we talk about Rucker starting 36th, and you can't win caution when it goes caution free. I mean, even the same for Chad. They're in 5th. You can't win from 20th when it goes caution free. Joseph Cossey, 27th. He's up to 8th. Thomas Sherman, 29th to 15th. I mean, some of these guys have done a great job coming from the back. But it's going to be short without a yellow.
On the same token, we're talking about the gains some guys have made. How about talk about guys going back the wrong way? The 70 of Jesse Rasmus started 5th. He's running 18th. The 42, Michael Hossack, he's from 10th to 20th now.
Yeah. I mean, we saw Chad Thornquist. He started 2nd. He's 41st. Gerald Campbell, we've talked about him. He's running 32nd. I mean, he's not even close to position for the lucky dog. I mean, that strategy call that's why I didn't want to do. I'm against stuff like that when it's a one-stop race, and it wasn't worth it.
I just heard in chat what happened to Chad Thornquist. Message us and let us know that he's not racing for points in this Xfinity Series in Elite, so he was just running out there for fun. Had some stuff to do around the house, so decided to pull off.
So we're gonna call that transmission failure. Is that what we're calling that?
What we're calling that, if there's any little kids out there and your parents tell you to do the chores, you want to do those chores.
That's right. Do those chores or you can't iRace. Chad Thornquist, proof of it. One thing I will bring up here, because I'm the guy that said he could do it, is Fody is kind of leveled off here at a 4-2. He is working a little bit of traffic. We'll see if it comes down this time.
Yeah, actually, last lap, I don't know if there was traffic, but RC beat Fody by a couple thousandths of a second.
He did gain a little bit back this last lap. He's going to need more than that, though, if he's going to get there. He's going to need to be, bringing it down.
And we're talking about if he's going to be able to bring it down under green. I'm looking back around 10th place here. We've got a fight on our hands for that position there. There's a lot of cars trying to contest that spot. We've got 3 wide.
And there we go. That's what Fody needs right there. Look at that. That was almost half a second that lap.
Yeah, RC's trying to work around the lap cars. Had a little trouble getting by that last lap. But yeah, back here in 10th, man, all night it's been just a huge battle. Huge group of cars going for it. I don't know how they haven't wrecked with everything going on back here.
And 2 of the guys back there that focus on for a minute, the 19 and the 56 both. I think we all 3 expected more out of those 2 cars.
Yeah, I mean, I really expected Tooker to be a guy that was really good on a long run, and he just, I don't know. Tooker is just not got it tonight. We saw Tate, he hasn't been very good on the long run either. Typical guys we see good on long runs just are not there tonight. The 04 is going to slide right up in front of Jeff Green and the C2 Freight. One of the sponsors here in Elite. Been here for a long time.
Yeah, we've gone green the whole way. We haven't had any great opportunities to thank all our sponsors tonight.
Yeah, Jeff Green running there in P10, C2 Freight machine. Not too far behind P9, but there's a lot of guys right behind him. That 10th place is going to be a hotbed through these last 15 laps.
One thing here, this gap, I know Tyler gained about a half a second when RC was going around a lapped car a couple of laps ago. He only gained a 1/10 and a half that last lap. So the laps are there's not enough laps here for him. If he's going to do it, he needs to dig down and find something, and he needs to find it quick.
Yeah, another thing, too, is all these lap cars that RC's passing, Fody's going to have to pass them, too. Granted, Fody's not the leader, so they might be a little easier on him, but he's going to have to work through all the same traffic.
I'm not giving up. I think, we still got 12 laps. 3 seconds, 12 laps. We'll see. Picked up 0.3 of a second, down to 2.8 seconds right there.
And speaking of the gap, if he does get there, we do know he only needs to see your bumper. He doesn't need to be right there. He just needs to see it, and he's gonna go for it.
Hey, that's why people tune in. We want to see some excitement here at the end. So if anybody's got Fody's ear, tell him to make sure he gets there and give us something good to watch when he does. Right on board with Fody here, down to 2.5. He picked up another 3/10.
He's going to need 3/10 over the final 10 laps here to get there.
Yeah, now he can see RC out there. He knows which car RC is. And RC, we don't know how hard he's went, how much he's got left to race with.
Let's see, we have Fody there only gained. The gap went from 2.51 or 2.58, I believe it was, to 2.51. It's not going to be enough for him. Over these last 9 laps, he needs to gain a 1/10 and a half or so every lap.
He is working a little bit of traffic. We'll see, if he can make up some time working this traffic. I think this lap he's going to take out a lot. I think this lap's looking pretty good. Yeah, 2 more tenths. That's, and that was with passing a car. So I think he could still be beating him by 3/10 to a half a second. It's just all about the traffic and not catching a lap car in the bad spot. Maybe had to hesitate getting back to the gas there, but it's still going to be a great lap. Yet nearly half a second. Now I don't know what's happened to Ethan Burrell, but he is not. He's still sitting at 6.7. I don't know if he picked up some damage from the wall or not. Oh yeah, look at that right front damage. Ethan Burrell's been into the fence.
He was a little bit further back than Tyler was, so he needed to be 100% with all the laps he did, and just looks like he stepped over the line a little bit and got some contact with that wall.
A couple more tenths there for Fody.
About 2, but he's going to need more than that. We got 6 to go. He's going to need 3 or 4 tenths a lap here.
And I'm going to tell you, we got to be aware. A caution would change everything here. Everybody would come get tires.
Fody going below the apron there, catching a little bit of the storm drain. Maybe catching a little air.
He did take out 2/10 that time. 5 to go, 2/10. He needs to do that every lap from here on out and then some. And I can't tell you as a driver how hard it is when you see that guy right out there. You know you've got a little bit fresher tires, but you see the laps ticking down, and you're giving it everything you have, and sometimes you come up a little short. We'll see the last couple laps here.
2 more tenths there for him. We can't go back and look at it.
Oh, we've got that yellow.
Oh,
there we go. That changes everything.
Man, I wanted to see if Fody could have got there so bad.
almost caution free.
Oh, Josh Adams.
A lot of damage on that 56. Look back, see what happened here.
Looks like the one of, is that Thomas Sherman? Thomas Sherman slid up, thought he was clear, and the 56 was still there. Put Josh on the wall, and then Josh got hit pretty hard by somebody else coming through here.
Oh, who did he collect there? Is that the 90 David Westergreen?
Yeah, I believe
99?
that was the 99, the 3-wide TV car at David Westergreen.
Westergreen not in that 12 car, but can't shake the bad luck.
That
Have-
finish would have been incredible, though, if we could have seen that. I mean, we're going to get to see something crazy anyway.
Does anybody stay out and try
Uh,
and?
it's 3 green, white checkers. I don't think so.
Do we see 2 tires though? I mean, does somebody roll the dice and take 2?
If I'm one of these other guys here, I want to do the opposite of what the leaders do.
Well, here's the thing. I think the only guys who can afford to take 2 and jump anybody is the leaders. They had such a gap with the lap cars. Nobody's going to be able to take 2 and beat them. So I think everybody's going to take 4.
Yeah, kind of here. If I'm in this situation, I want to do something different than what they do. The 40 and the 50.
Ethan Burrell took 2. That's what I was saying. 3rd place was the only car that could take 2 and jump out in front of people, and it was Burrell.
Yeah, you know, when you've got a couple of guys out here driving away from you that are putting the spank in the field, you've got to, you're not going to beat them more than likely doing the same thing they do. So I like this call by Ethan.
Tate Lytle also took 2 tires, but he was not close enough to jump those guys at the front. Here, real quick, I want to give a shout out to all our sponsors in the Mrs. Goody's Grand National Series. C2 Freight, we've hit on them a couple times tonight. Blue Egg Marketing and Powerhouse Recycling. Give a shout out to Chad Frankenfield, all he does for the Elite Racing Network. We got Ryan Gavel, our producer, with us tonight. Shout out to him and everybody who helps make this thing happen.
I don't know about you guys here, but situations like this is where I'm glad I'm watching up here announcing and not down there driving.
Yeah, absolutely. I would rather be in the car, but it's going to be fun to watch this. The last couple laps here, see what happens.
Hey,
normally,
boys, Josh Adams is still out here as the leader, and he was the yellow. Is he just going to stay out here?
that's what I was hearing. I heard Chad Frankenfield saying we had a couple of people staying out. It does look like we've got the 56.
Man, that's going to be pretty treacherous on, what, 50 lap tires? Something in the ballpark? And damage?
Yeah, I think if I'm Josh right here, I'm gonna pull this thing in pit road. If there was one green white checkered, I'd do it. You've got a caution come out right away and you back into a win. I've had that happen to myself a few times in official races, and it makes you look really smart. But when you don't get that caution and you go from restarting first to finishing 30th because you stayed out, doesn't look real good. We'll see what Josh does right here.
We do have a lot of guys taking the wave around here. 21st on back. Josh is going to pit here. It's going to give Ethan control. Now, Ethan is teammates with Tate Lytle, I believe, right? Or are they just friends? I'm not sure how. I think Tate left that team, but they're still good friends. Does Ethan take the top?
I want to be on the bottom if I'm Ethan. I want to protect the yellow line. And we've seen the outside line work, but Ethan's not going to have the grip the other 2 guys are going to have, so I want to be down.
He's taking the top. He is taking the top.
So what it's all going to be about here for Ethan, he wants to get as clean a jump as he can. He doesn't want to spin the tires at all, but he wants to get away on this start. He wants the 50 and the 40 to be... the 50 and the 2 to be side by side going down into 1. I think that's really the only shot he has.
And this is going to be pretty interesting because they've only had the initial start tonight. They haven't had the chance to test these things out on restarts, especially on 2 tires.
He's been out here for a long time. My experience on this sim, it's going to be pretty loose when he gets down to turn 1.
One thing this is going to help back through there is probably Chad Frankenfield, as long as he gets a good start. Chad's restarting 6th there. He's going to try to get what he can, but here we come. Ethan is the control car. Pace car's off.
I don't know. I think Chad's going to get bottled up down there.
What a start. Oh, RC does not get a good start. Can't change your lane before you get to the line, but they're both going to get away here. They're both on 3 tires. Tate's going to drop to the bottom.
Oh,
RC's loose.
RC sideways out of the groove. Saves it. He's got Chad 3 wide.
Oh, that's man. Here we come down into 3 and 4.
We're going to take the white. Oh, contact.
Chad and Scott make contact.
I think the 37's got it.
White flag.
The 40 needs to get the 2 right here, and then he needs to be in position to make a move on the 37.
Oh, Tate's pinching him a little bit. He's going to have a shot.
Really good run
Here
off
we
of
go.
turn 2.
RC's back in this all of a sudden. Oh, they're trying to bob and weave down the back.
Ethan's going to have to pinch him. Bodie's
Here we
loose.
come off of turn 4. Ethan's got the run. They touch.
Big crash
Tate's
behind him.
Who got it?
Fody.
Oh, that's close.
I think it's Fody.
Looks like
Ethan.
The 37 by
Wow,
4
we're
1,000ths
wrecking
of
here.
a second.
Wow.
What a finish.
Ethan Burrell. I don't know if you guys remember at the beginning, I kind of changed my pick off of the 56 and kind of went with the 37. Not by much, but he gets it done.
Tate Lytle finished 16th, and he was running top 5 down into turn 3. What a finish. I
Yeah,
take
let's
it back.
see.
I'm glad we got that yellow. What an incredible finish.
Oh.
You know who's not? It's RC Enerson.
Tate just got loose right there, coming off a 4 by himself. But what a call by the 37. I think, if he didn't have Tate and a teammate with him, I think that, it might not have worked, but they played that perfectly.
What an absolutely incredible finish.
I didn't have very much confidence in the 2 tire calls. You had 4 tires right behind you, but it worked out.
It all goes back to the restart. They got that restart where they both got out there, and then, down into turn 1, RC got, bottled up, got sideways, and I mean, that one corner, if RC doesn't have that, they 2 tires probably don't win, but because that happens, 4 tires didn't get there until down the front stretch into 1. And even then, Tate Lytle, Tate really pinched Fody when he got underneath him. Look at this back here down the backstretch. I think that hurt Fody having to defend against RC there too. I'm not even sure RC was going to make that move.
As they come off turn 4, dead tied for the lead and make a little bit of contact. That's as close as you can get.
Damn, props to Fody for not washing up and putting Ethan in the fence, because I know, the other car on the inside, you do that anytime you want.
How ironic is it that we're watching the 40 to see if he can catch the 50 for that entire green flag run, and he loses by 4 1,000ths of a second.
Yeah, I think we were in store for a great finish either way, but man, oh man, that was insane. And just to go over the finishing order here, Fody, RC, Scott Crump, Vincent Isabella ended up 5th, Tooker 6th, Joseph Cossey, Andrew Rucker 8th from 36, Josh Robin 9th, Matthew Weeks in P10.
We've got, here in the driver's chat, we've got some pretty hot guys under the collar.
Yeah, what happened to
final
Frank
crash there?
He restarted 6th, and Chad Frankfurt was at 25th.
Yeah, when the 2 car, but he got sideways out of 4, and I believe the 15 is blaming him for taking 2 tires and taking out the entire field out of the last corner. Got some guys not too happy here.
But what a job tonight. RC's going to feel like he let one get away. Or, well, maybe not all the way. I don't know what he was saving, how much he had. If he could have stayed in front of Fody, we'll never know how that would have ended.
I think we'll have a pretty good opportunity to ask him what he thinks was going to happen here pretty soon. See exactly if he was saving or not.
All right, we are now joined by our 3rd place finisher, RC Enerson. Won in Daytona, Not sure if you had it locked up or not. You know, it was going to be a great battle between you and Fody there at the end if you could have got there. But take us through your night, everything that led up to that green, white, checkered, yellow, and what you were thinking under the green, white, checkered.
Yeah, it was a good start. I mean, I tried to challenge Fody, but it was too hard to pass at the time. He had a lot of clean air, and I was just burning up my tires trying to do it. So I just hung back for the rest of the stint, and I figured I'd do it on pitch strategy. I know he likes to go really long till basically the fuel tank's empty, so I decided it was a one stop, split it right in the center. I'll have the best tires the whole time. And I think we were going to luck out there as long as I didn't make any mistakes, but I was not looking for that yellow.
Well, I was going to give Nick an opportunity to ask something, but he
I,
didn't.
I wasn't sure if Jake was gonna chime in, but yeah, man. I mean, you and Fody were pretty much the two runaways there for until the yellow came out. Pretty much, I thought it was gonna be caution free. I'm sure you were hoping it was going to. But what was kind of the strategy coming in? Did you know the fall off was going to be that bad? You were just going to split it right down the middle, put it like lap 50, or were you going to try to run it all the way out like Fody did and kind of called an audible?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit. I was hoping that I had a bit more pace on tires, but I mean, I've never been known to have the strongest long run pace. It's gotten better, but I knew I wasn't going to have a stronger long run pace as he was, and the fact that he was leading what made it harder. So yeah, I just kind of called it to pit right in the middle, see if I could get far enough out, and then just stay consistent. But traffic and everything, he started to catch back up. I think it would have been really close at the end. I think I still might have been able to edge him out. He wasn't really gaining enough towards the end. But yeah, then the green white checker, it looked really good to be challenging with Tate and Ethan, but I just got loose through 1 and 2, had to save it, then went 3 wide into 3-4, and then was looking to try to get him going into the last corner, but I just kind of backed out of it, knowing that they'd probably crash.
Any questions you have for RC, Jake?
Yeah, just we mentioned your real world experience, and did you apply any of that to managing the gap there with Tyler in the 40?
Yeah, I mean, knowing that I might miss some races later in the season, so I don't know how much of a championship run I'll have, I can take a bit more risks as far as pitch strategy. So I knew even if I split it down the middle and risk those 7 or 8 laps they had on fuel to try and make it happen was worth the risk.
I hear you. It's pulling for you up here. It's sad to see you didn't get to finish it off, but strong third place finish anyway.
Yep, thanks guys.
And any sponsor shout outs before we send you out of here, RC?
Yeah, just Lucas Ho School of Racing, you guys up here in the booth, Chad, and all the elite guys, and yeah, that's it.
All right, RC, congrats on your run. Come back and see us next week. You know, you came and seen us in Daytona. We had that vacation already there, and I think we race right back to back here and back at it next Monday, so come back and see us.
Sounds good. See you guys.
We are now joined by the guy that made everything exciting under either strategy, Tyler Fody. Tyler, take us through your night, everything you were thinking when you were leading up to that pit stop. You know, did you think you were going to catch him? It was very fun to watch as the gap closed there, and then obviously getting the green white checkered. And take us through your thoughts there when you saw those guys on 2 tires.
God, dude, this was a lot. First, I didn't expect to get the pole at all. I mean, I hopped on here and felt like I was top 5 speed, got the pole, and then was planning on dropping a couple spots and riding to save tires, but ended up leading the first half, which was another big shock. And then the pit stop started coming around, and I knew I was going all the way to the end based on the long run speed I had. I figured I'd just make it back up. I figured RC was going to be the main competition unless Ethan or Tate had pulled a different kind of tire strategy. And when I saw RC go in like 7 laps sooner before I was going to go in, I thought for sure he had thrown it away. And then I did my whole cycle, came out in front of Tate and Ethan, which I was a little shocked. And from there, I thought I had it as long as no yellow came out. And we got down to like 10 laps, and it was still 3 or 4 seconds. So then I started driving it harder, and it got down to, I think, 1.1 or 1.2 with like 4 to go. And honestly, I don't think I could have gotten any closer than maybe 3 or 4 tenths had it run green, or if he would have made a mistake. So after all that, I guess I was kind of glad the yellow came out. And then I saw Ethan take 2, and I was like, oh boy, now we're getting wadded up here. There's no way that 2 tires is going to work. And then I saw Tate in 4th, and I knew they were going to try and do a restart there together, which worked. Fortunately, though, I guess RC slipped a little trying to make the bottom in 1 and 2 on that restart, and allowed me to get up into 3rd. And from there, I thought it was going to be Tate and me. Like, there's no way Ethan was going to hang on to that. And sure enough, I don't know how he did it. I was just talking to him, but I guess it felt good enough to have that speed for a couple laps. So I had to make the move on Tate, and then having to block RC going into the last corner, I kind of messed up the entry. But even still, I tried using Ethan up as much as I could. Made a little contact on my end. And after that, I thought for sure, now I have it after all of this, driving to the line. And about halfway there, I looked over, and Ethan was still right there at my door. So even cutting the apron a little bit didn't do it. But all in all, I think that was the most fun race to eventually finish 2nd that I've ever had. So props to Ethan for that call.
So we mentioned on the broadcast, when you're catching somebody like that, and you know you have to be perfect every single lap to be able to get there to the bumper, and then it starts to kind of even out. Describe your feelings as you weren't catching him as much at the end there, and then to come up 6 inches short.
Yeah, that feeling sucked, honestly. I looking back, I probably could have drove a little harder the first third of that last run. I just, in my head, I was so sure that 7 laps advantage. There was no way, because I was even pulling on RC at the end of that first run a little bit. And about halfway through that run, I noticed the gap was starting to slow down as far as like how quick I was catching them. So I was driving a little harder, and it didn't really set in, I don't think, till there was like 20 to go. And it was only a couple tenths a lap. So, I mean, I was changing up the line a little bit here and there, braking a little later, trying to push harder. But at that point, we had kind of lost the advantage, I guess. The tires were starting to even out. As shocking as that was, I really didn't think it was going to be that little of a difference at the end. But, I mean, yeah, to answer your question, that sucked, the feeling. And I got to feel a little bad for RC, because that was an incredible call to split it 50-50. And he got robbed there at the end.
Yeah, we were watching both of you guys and your lap times just about every lap, because you guys were waxing the field. But anyways, you have anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, all the Lake Norman guys, David Westergreen and Vince there. We're all having really solid nights. Vince, I guess, ended up capitalizing on a top 5 there. And Westergreen, I think, got caught up in the accident there at the end. But, I mean, really solid run. We were all looking good. So I got to thank them for running again tonight. Got to thank Days Gone By, Vintage Apparel for being on the car, Kendall Noah Player for painting it. Looks awesome. Also Blue Egg Marketing for always being on board. And also shout out to you guys for doing this. I'll be watching it back for sure. This was a fun one. So yeah, we'll try and do one better next week. And yeah, maybe not this close of a finish though.
All right, well, a couple more things here before we let you go. It didn't sound like you knew from your interview there. Tate Lytle was also on 2 tires. And Nick, you got any questions here before he gets out of here?
Yeah, top 10 in Daytona, second place tonight. How much you looking forward to Martinsville?
Is that what's next week?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God. Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like I had a shot to win at Daytona if I didn't get fenced, and then here I felt like I had the winning car, came up short. I have no idea. I think I did win Martinsville actually last year, but I think we paced the whole time. So hopefully we get some racing in there. I feel like we'll probably be top 5. I mean, that'll be the goal at least. And yeah, I didn't know Tate took 2 tires either. That's crazy. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I should have done that looking back now.
Well, all right, man. We'll look forward to talking to you next week. We know you got that front bumper, and you're one of the guys that's not afraid to use it. So come back and next week, man.
Yeah, all right.
All right, we're now joined by the race winner, the guy that we knew was going to win the thing the whole time. Was not a surprise there when he crossed the line first, but Ethan, take us through your night. It looked like maybe you were going to have something there to run down RC with Tyler, and then you hit the wall. Thought maybe you were going to set him to third, green white checker, 2 tires. Worked out just like you planned, right?
Uh, yeah, it was something. um, yeah, I qualified all right. I felt like I missed it a little bit, and that long run early in the race, I was just taking it easy before the pit stop, and kind of picked my way up there to top 5 and up to third, and um, Tyler and RC were stout. Um, but yeah, just trying to hang with them and kind of trying to do whatever Fody was doing. But he was just quicker, and yeah, that after we pitted, I was trying to find something. Got into the fence a little bit, and I figured, okay, well, I guess third is okay. I got a good gap behind me. Just cruise on home to a podium, and then I didn't want that caution to come out because I knew I had some damage, so I just wanted to roll on through and run it out green. But I had Josh Clark in the chat with me, and I was like, I wonder if I took 2 tires, and he's like, do it, do it. He's like hyping me up to do it, and I was kind of questioning the call, but I figured, well, I'm not gonna beat those two straight up, so went in, took the 2 tires, and got a good shove from Tate there on the start, and boy, it worked out somehow. That was crazy.
To piggyback off what Chris said, we knew you were going to win the whole time. At my broadcasting debut here, I picked you as my winner. So
Nice.
thanks for making me look smart there.
Yeah, thanks for picking me.
Now wait a minute. Wait a
I
minute,
definitely
guys.
did not pick Josh Adams first.
Yeah, he changed like right as you guys were rolling because he got some intel from Josh that Josh was not going to be good.
Hey,
Well,
the
hey,
green,
I mean,
the green
it's
wasn't out yet, and I changed my pick, and we're looking pretty smart here with the checkered flags out.
we'll count it. We'll count it. That's fine.
Yeah, man. It always helps to have a hype man in the chat, and Josh Clark, but just to have the guts. I mean, we didn't have a restart all night, and then the decision to take 2 tires there on 50 lap tires, not knowing what it's gonna do. I mean, it takes a lot of guts, and to pull it off, I mean, it's pretty incredible. How you feeling about next week though, going into Martinsville?
Oh boy, I totally forgot about Martinsville. I'm feeling a lot better now because usually I go out to Martinsville and have good pace, and Martinsville things happen. But I think the last 2 of those races, I've ended up finishing the race in the barrels. So we'll head into Martinsville head held high because coming off this win.
I'm calling it right now. Martinsville's going to run caution free next week, and it's going to be incredible.
Oh boy.
No, I think Nick and I will have a lot to break down next week during the race. But
Yeah,
anybody
you
want to
guys
say
better
tonight?
bring lots of snacks to that race next week for sure. Yeah, shout out to my buddy Austin. He's visiting right now. My grandma's probably watching. All the guys at Pro Edge Racing. JD Designs for the nice paint scheme, and just everybody for putting this thing on. It was a really good time out there.
And Clark too, right? I mean, those guys that sit in the pit box and
Oh
watch
yeah,
up the strategy. I mean,
yeah.
can't get done without
Clark,
him.
Clark peer pressured me to make that 2-tire call, so I definitely owe him one for that.
Well, all right, man. Congrats on the win, and I guess come back talk to us next week in Martinsville, right?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Thank you guys.
Well, this race had a little bit of everything: long green run, some guys coming through the track, coming through the pack there, and lots of comers and goers, lots of different strategies. Thought it was going to end, caution free with a close battle at the end. Still not sure how that would have worked out. Instead, we got the yellow, the green, white checkered, and all hell broke loose there at the end. What do you guys think about the night?
I thought it was a pretty fun race to watch, caution free, like you said, until the end, and it was really compelling watching the 40 and the 50 and their pit strategy and exactly who was going to come out on top. And then we might have to ask the stats guy. I don't know. That might be one of the closest finishes in elite history. I think we'll have to look in on that.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun one to watch, and I think you picked the right one to join us in the booth for, Jake. Hopefully, you come back for some more.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if the schedule lines up. I had a lot of fun joining you guys. We'll see.
Yep, it was a fun race, compelling race, lots of different strategy, and people might hear the term, we ran caution free for 98 laps, but I mean, we had some great battles out there tonight. There was some great battles there for, 5th to 10th there. Those guys all packed up, different strategies. So it was a very exciting race all the way through. So shout out to everybody that helps make this happen. We couldn't do this every week without Ryan Gavel. He's our producer. Without him, Chad Frankenfield, everybody at Elite Racing Network. Shout out to Mrs. Goody's Goodies, all our partners, C2 Freight, Blue Egg Marketing. Come back next week. We'll be at Martinsville, I promise.